Look, I'd like a few words with you.
Not now, Mr. Andrews. Mr. Pierce is here to see B. Smith, and that is his only reason for being here.
Yes, perhaps you'd like to bring Smith to the interview room, please, Miss Bennett. This way, Mr. Pierce.
Thank you.
Oh, truth. Lizzie, you've just cost me 40 cents.
Eh?
We're playing 10 cents a match, and live ones are worth 5 dead ones.
Oh, sorry.
Well, you know what they say. Smoking is a wealth hazard.
Oh, dear. Hello, who's the new inmate?
I thought you'd better get used to seeing me like this. I won't be wearing my uniform anymore.
Well, if you don't know what to do with it, we can always put it to good use, eh?
Yeah, we'd find something to do with it.
I don't think so. Well, I've just come to say goodbye. See you all in a week.
Funny, a lot of the women say that when they leave here.
I just hope I'm in a position to help you all a lot more than I can at the moment.
Yeah, a week may be too late.
B, there's a visitor on the way in to see you.
Oh, Ken? Well, he could let me know. Oh, I'm sorry, Mrs. Morris. Good luck. See you next week.
Oi, watch it! Oh, Mrs. M, seeing you didn't give us much notice as you told us you would do, and we couldn't have a party, I brought you a little present.
Oh, Lizzie, you shouldn't have.
Oh, it's nothing, just a little thing Sid gave me.
Oh, Liz. Oh, Lizzie, I can't take this.
Oh, Sid would have wanted you to, especially after that day you let him take us to the hospital.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Where's Smith?
I think you'll find she's in a cell.
I've got better things to do than to chase after her.
Mrs. M, when you're looking for jobs for parolees, can you get one for Miss Bennett?
I gather you don't altogether approve of my being back in Wentworth, Mr. Fletcher.
My opinion's of no importance whatsoever.
Hello, B.
Hi, Ken.
It's been a long time.
You all right?
Things are going very well. Plenty of work, of course. That never stops. I even got paid for a magazine article I haven't used yet.
Let me know when it comes out.
Yeah, sure. Mind you, the extra money will come in handy, what with Debbie getting married soon. Whoever thought of that crazy idea about the bride's family paying for the wedding?
What's her fellow like?
He's a decent bloke. Got a good trade behind him. He's a fitter and turner. Got a good head on his shoulders, too.
I hope it goes well for her.
And she's got a lot to thank you for, B.
Oh, good. I only asked her if she really wanted to end up like me.
Well, there's far more to it than that, you know. My mother couldn't get over the change in her when she got back.
Do you see much of her?
Well, she writes every week. Brought a fiancé down to meet me a while back.
No, I met your wife.
No.
Do you think there's much chance of you ever getting back to get... Well, I mean, it's none of my business.
No, I'm sorry, B. There's nothing I want to say about it. Marion and I just can't live together.
Fair enough.
All right, Smith, time's up. Come on.
Well, if you're ever passing this way again, feel free to drop in.
I'd love to. And you keep writing, eh? Makes a change to get letters covered in wax instead of blue pencil.
Go on, Smith. Off you go.
Bye.
Bye, love.
You took a long time to say goodbye.
No, I was chatting to Colleen in the staff room. Didn't notice the time go by. Look what the officers have given me. I mean, I feel quite guilty. I'm not leaving altogether.
It shows how much they appreciate you.
Yes. Well, I better be going. Bob will be wondering where I am. I'll see you next week.
Sure. Best of luck, Mick.
Thanks.
Right, take your jacket off and empty your pockets.
Right?
You heard me.
You're not searching him again, are you?
What's it look like?
That's okay, Mr. Andrews. I'm used to this. I visit quite a lot of prisons, you know.
Now, what I'd like to talk to you about are your ideas on prison reform.
Sure. From what I read in the papers, Wentworth's become far more progressive.
What, you mean the conjugal visits?
Yeah. I heard Mrs. Davidson's not the sole force behind their instigation.
Well, I did speak to her about it, but it was really the women themselves who suggested it.
Well, it's nice to know they had someone to listen.
Just sign off, please. I'll escort you through to the gates.
Look, I've finished for the day. Care for a drink?
Mr. Andrews, could you keep your social life outside the prison?
Sorry. Don't accept till we're outside the gates.
Wonder what's happened to Bea. Ken must have taken her out to dinner.
Yeah, well, I hope she brings back a doggy bag.
Hey, Bea, how'd it go?
Oh, we had a good old chinwag.
Yeah, that's all you'd ever get.
And what is that supposed to mean?
It means you've got buck likelies of getting a conjugal with Ken? What about all them other poor bitches who have missed out seeing their families because of you?
Like you, I suppose.
Yeah, and Hazel. There's June, Lil, Bev. There's Marie in maternity, Phyllis in D block. They've all missed out because of Queen Bee.
They'd bloody serve you right if they told you where you could stick your bloody boycott.
Now, you listen good, Chrissy. I am boss cocky around here because the other women want me to be. And they do not want the governor taking credit for all these lovely unsupervised visits and then have Vera breathing down their necks every time their hubbies and kids come to call. Now, like you said, it doesn't affect me, so I am doing it for them.
Oh, you're all heart.
And if I hear of anyone accepting an unsupervised visit, I will make sure they are in no condition to enjoy it. Do you understand? Well?
Yes.
Well, come on, get a move on. Got a date with that boyfriend of yours today, Latham.
Yes, Miss Bennett?
Pity Smith told you not to use the visiting compound. You probably would have enjoyed the extra freedom.
Don't let us stir you.
Well, perhaps Smith can arrange for 5 minutes in the storeroom. It's very cosy in there, isn't it, Smith?
Tried it, have you, Vera?
Being insolent to an officer. Just for that, you'll lose your conjugal visiting rights. Now get to the showers, all of you, or do you have to wait for Smith's permission for that, too? It's a pity your sour grapes stopped the others from getting the benefit.
Well, you'd know all about sour grapes, wouldn't you, Vera? And it's a pity you can't remember what it's like to have a bloke interested in you.
Ken Pierce has already proved he can't be trusted. It could easily happen again.
Good grief. There's official forms for everything.
Well, that's the public service for you.
Good morning. I'm your instructor, John Campbell. Sorry I'm late. No doubt you already looked at the papers you've been given and are totally confused.
It all is a bit daunting.
Oh, I'm sure Mrs. Morris is used to a bit of departmental paperwork. However, my job in the next 5 days is to guide you through this bureaucratic maze. Now, it's a fairly intensive study, so I hope you've kept your evenings free to write up your notes.
Oh, there goes my date tonight.
Oh, don't tell me they're boycotting your classes as well.
No, I'm in between lessons.
I'm surprised your school's lasted as long as it has. The conjugal visits were a flash in the pan.
Well, I'm sure that's only temporary. Once the women get used to the idea.
It's more trouble than it's worth.
I disagree.
If you think it means instant rehabilitation, you're wrong. Most of these schemes have been tried before and none of them work.
Well, perhaps because no one in authority wants them to work.
Oh, rubbish. It's the attitude of the women. They're all no-hopers.
I've worked with no-hopers before. It hasn't always been unsuccessful.
And what do you get out of this? Personal satisfaction?
As a matter of fact, yes.
Why? You're a teacher, not a social worker. Or does the education department hand out merit badges for prison reform?
Oh, for goodness sakes. Look, what good does it do to separate a woman from her husband and kids? It only breeds resentment. Resentment leads to violence and unrest, which you claim are reasons to ban the business.
Oh, just a minute.
Well, I've heard your narrow-minded views on the subject before, Vera. Now, you listen to me. I saw a man yesterday submitted to the indignity of a thorough search, both before and after a supervised visit. Now, a lesser man would never set foot in prison again, and there would go a prisoner's contact with the outside world. Oh, yes. The women are claiming that the privacy of their conjugal visits is being spoiled by the interference of a certain senior officer.
That is a lie.
Well, you don't have to tell me, Vera. I'm only a teacher. Just be honest with yourself for once. Ask yourself if the attitude of people like you has done anything to improve the standards of prison living. Now, if your answer is yes, you're living a lie.
I agree we should encourage conjugal visits, but if the women have decided to boycott, there's very little I can do.
They resent your taking credit for the scheme.
I realise that, but I can't help the way they interpret some very good publicity for Wentworth. Heaven knows we get little enough. Besides, that's not their only complaint. Apparently, Miss Bennett was overzealous in her duties when Kent had her visit.
Still, they're minor points compared to the benefits, aren't they?
Prisoners are traditionally negative in their attitude towards beneficial schemes. They feel it's better not to have a privilege at all rather than to lose it just because they misbehave.
I think we could do a deal with B. Smith.
It's a little premature to be looking for compromises, Mr. Andrews.